Have things ever been going really well for you, and then all of a sudden they weren't? My life was fantastic. I was content. My wife and I had 2 kids. Our practice was growing. Everything was going according to my plans. And then everything changed in December of 2024. I felt fatigued, anxious, overwhelmed. All of a sudden, lights and sounds became too much for me. Even having conversations was challenging. Then one day, I woke up and I couldn't stop shaking. We called 911, went to the hospital. They did a CT scan, and they seemed to find that something had happened in my brain. They admitted me, gave me an MRI, and they found that I had suffered a medial right thalamic stroke. Have you ever heard of a thalamic stroke? I hadn't either. But I soon found that the next year, 15 months and beyond, were going to be some of the most challenging, overwhelming months of my life. I've discovered through research and through my own experience that the thalamus is the gateway center of our senses. Only smell doesn't go through the thalamus. The thalamus is involved in our sleep-wake cycle. It helps us to sleep. The thalamus is involved with the regulation of our experiences. So this part of the brain that is so integral to being able to regulate our emotions, where all of our senses meet and converge, suddenly, seemingly overnight, had broken. I was crying. I was overwhelmed. I experienced anxiety that I had never felt before. I was depressed, not because I had had a stroke, but because the part of my brain that's involved with regulation was injured. The tears I wept every day weren't necessarily even because I was sad. It was because my brain had been broken. I couldn't focus. My memory was shot. And it felt like, maybe not just felt like, it was true that everything I had worked so hard for was just overnight gone. And yet, even though this was one of the most challenging, if not the most challenging experiences of my life, it turns out it may also be one of the most helpful experiences that have happened to me. This channel is not really about a thalamic stroke. Given its rare nature, I'm guessing few, if any of you, have ever suffered a thalamic stroke. But in my recovery, I had to learn how to live my life again. I had to rely on everything that I've learned as a psychologist. I had to really build on how to apply small, gradual, daily steps. And through it, I discovered the value of each day. Getting stuck in the past or the future really didn't help me. So instead, I had to focus on how to regulate my experience. I had to once again learn, or maybe I should say relearn, how to master overwhelming and intense anxiety. I had to learn how to be with the flood, the avalanche of negative, intrusive thoughts that I was experiencing on a daily basis, multiple times a day. I had to clarify my values again and really commit to and link to what matters most to me, and to learn how to be flexible within those values, and to understand that what I could do before the stroke, it was going to take much more time and effort to do even some of the things I was able to do before the stroke. So often when I think of a stroke, I think of challenges related to speech, to movement. Because of where the stroke happened in my brain, the impact was less on speech and movement, and more on the emotions, more on cognition, more on memory. I had to learn how to live again. So this channel is about taking what I learned, taking my experience as a psychologist, taking my faith, putting all these things together and discussing, talking about teaching how to win each and every day. It's about learning, how do we master the negative thoughts and feelings, the doubts that can really interfere with our lives? How do we learn how to master and be with overwhelming and intense anxiety? How can we discover how to strengthen our relationships? Because here's what I've found. When you can master your challenging thoughts and feelings, when you can learn how to be with your anxiety, when you can take meaningful actions in the presence of an intense, overwhelming mind, then no matter what you're experiencing, no matter your challenges, somehow, some way, each day can be rewarding and fulfilling. There was a commercial several years back for a hair growth company. The founder would say, "I'm not just the founder, I'm a member." Well, that's true of this channel. I'm not just the founder of this channel, I'm a member. Through this stroke, I've had the experience of this strong, overwhelming anxiety and panic. And here's the thing, you don't have to have a stroke to experience anxiety and panic. I've experienced the intrusive thoughts that make no sense. The overwhelming, crippling, low, depressed mood. Relationships becoming severed. And yet, what I've also discovered is that there's hope. There are ways that we can learn how to be with those negative thoughts and feelings, how we can learn how to gradually, step by step, bring anxiety with us, how we can strengthen our relationships. And when we do that, then we begin to experience more fulfillment and vitality in our lives. There probably aren't miracle fixes. There probably isn't one simple solution that takes away all of our problems or that eliminates all of the difficult thoughts and feelings and memories that we can experience. But I believe, research I believe supports this, that we can learn how to create a different relationship with our thoughts, feelings, and memories. We can learn how to be with our anxiety, how to be with our depression, how to be with difficult, painful, traumatic memories flooding back. We can learn how to be with all of those experiences and still take meaningful action, still clarify our purpose. And as we do that, each and every day, we begin to experience more drive, more satisfaction, more commitment. We begin to live our meaning. And in that place, the painful, difficult, overwhelming thoughts and feelings and memories start to lose their power and impact. So no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what your circumstances are, there's an opportunity to grow, to change, and to win the day.